You're watching, you're like, just don't step there. Walk up the side of the stairs and you're fucking fine.
You fucking see where it's at.
It's right there. What are you doing? And you walked into the next one. What the fuck?
You love the movies. Did you love the search for the perfect rental on a Friday night? Have you enjoyed the new version of this, searching through countless streaming services for the perfect movie? Well, I know we do. Welcome to Mike and Anthony's Soda Pop Culture Club. Me, Mike, along with my co-host Antoine.
And I mean this. Up yours with a twirling lawnmower.
That's in the movie? Did they say that?
Yeah, you dipshit.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The movie that you just finished watching.
Just watch it. We bring our take on a classic movie every Monday from the 80s, 90s, and beyond, during which we will play the game and open up a 6-pack of our favorite scenes. We also point out a couple of generic scenes as well. And at the end of the show, we'll rate the movie 1 to 24 cans. 1 can is a right-handed hand job from Freddy Krueger, if you know what we mean. And in 24 cans, it's a left-handed. Although that one's still a burnt hand with green blood spurting out of it. So I don't know.
It's ribbed for your pleasure.
Ribbed for my pleasure. All right. Oh, wow. But before we get to all that, we want to let you know, we want to do movies suggested by our listeners, don't we? We do. And
Always.
There's a couple ways to do that. Number one way is join our Patreon. You suggest it on there. We'll do it because you pay us. So that's how we work. And we like to do that. The other one is a fast pass. If you Venmo us or PayPal us at Soda Pop Culture Club, $25, we'll do the movie you request. We'll get it in there and we'll fast pass you to the front. And we do have a third way.
Or not.
Yeah. We do have a third way because we do have a website where you can suggest movies there. So if you go there and suggest a movie, we may get to it, but it'll not be a fast pass. We'll just do it when we feel like it. Think of it that way.
Yeah.
You know.
You'll be in the queue.
Yeah. And that's sodapopcultureclub.com. There you can buy merch and do all the fun stuff, see our schedule, whatever you like. Email us, contact us, tell us how shitty Anthony is. We're fine with that. Don't give me that look.
We are. I was pondering it. You're right.
Oh, okay. It's like, okay. No. A couple more things. Don't forget to share the show with your friends. Check out our Instagram at Mike and Anthony, where we post tasteful pics of Anthony doing art on his chest, so that you can't tell it's his boobies, but it's art. There might be his nipple will be the eyeball of an animal.
It's an etch-a-sketch sitting on top of my chest with a picture of my boobs on the etch-a-sketch. It's art. And yes, tell your friends. Spread the show like herpes.
Yes, and we also post some pretty clever memes that go along with our movies here and there. Finally, we need you to go to Apple Podcasts and hit us up for a review there. 5-star, any star really, and a comment, because comments and stuff like that help us be seen more. So that would be really cool. And so if you want us to be here forever, do that.
And I got to correct my stupid co-host. Don't hit us up for a review. Like, ask us for a review. Just give us a review. He doesn't word good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was I not wording good, Dyer?
You said hit us up for a review.
I'm special. I'm special.
You are.
I am special. Are you ready for the trailer?
Of course I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
We just see cuts happen.
What did happen, Lieutenant?
I don't know. Tina! There's a coroner got to say.
He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, Don't fall asleep.
She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails,
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
no one will survive. From Wes Craven, director of The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, a new masterpiece in fantasy terror, Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's an interesting category. I never heard that and registered. Fantasy terror.
Yeah.
See, I never thought of it that way. Okay. Well,
I
whatever.
just thought of it more like S&M shit. Because of the glove. It can get rough.
I think your sex life is fantasy terror. Anybody that's asleep with you, anyways.
Yeah. God bless the internet.
Yeah.
So many ideas out there.
Too many. You could be the Tarzan to someone's Jane, right?
Exactly. Or the Bubbles to their Michael Jackson. I don't know. The whatever.
I was making a movie reference. I don't know where you're at, but yeah,
I'm sure that was a movie too at some point.
So, Michael.
Let's get into this shit because I've been waiting for this. It is Halloween season. We are balls deep into this with our horror reviews. Now we are doing one that billions upon billions of people have done reviews on, and I don't give a fuck because this one's ours, and that's the only one that matters. We are doing one of the greatest horror films, Game Changer. Let's just fucking say that. Okay, here's our breakdown by the numbers. Directed by the master of horror himself, Wes Craven, and starring Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, Ronnie Blakely, Amanda Wyss, am I saying that right? Jesu Garcia, and in his first ever film role, Johnny Depp. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released on November 16th, 1984, taking in $57 million at the box office against a $1.1 million budget. That is freaking staggering. It scores 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb and 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. And side note, just so everybody knows, normally we sound like shit. This time on this episode, we really do sound like shit. My allergies are kicking my ass.
Don't apologize.
Fucking him in the nose. So it's going to be what it's going to be.
It's going to be
there. We
there.
don't cancel shows. Fuck that.
I don't know. Do you cancel anybody these days for doing bad things? Who have we canceled? Have we canceled anybody? Oh, yeah, Harvey Weinstein, maybe?
Oh, that fucker's. Jesus.
There's people we've canceled. Yeah, there's people.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do a Mel Gibson movie, isn't it? Like, when you think about it, when you're thinking canceling, it's really hard to do.
I don't know. For some reason, like, I could watch a Mel Gibson movie easier than I could a Kevin Spacey movie right now.
Yes, you're so right.
So
yes, it's probably because one is a whacked out crazy person that didn't diddle 15-year-old boys or whatever it was. And the other one, did. So,
but then when you think about it, it's like, do you have a problem watching a movie, even if he's not in the movie, something that Weinstein was involved with?
Well, then
so many layers.
Then you're not going to like Pulp Fiction.
There's so many layers to it.
Think about that.
Oh, I know. There's
probably the greatest movie ever made to some people. Some would say it's a nightmare to think about.
Exactly.
All right. So now, are you ready?
Elm Street. It would be a Nightmare on Elm Street if you watched it there.
Nightmare on My Street if you're Will Smith.
You know how many times I ever pass the street and I see an Elm Street sign, I want to fucking steal it after I saw this movie?
And there's one in like every fucking
town.
An Oak Street and an Elm Street is in every fucking town.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, you should do it.
It's like I just want to get one.
But I don't know what the misdemeanor fine is for that. I don't know.
That's only if you get caught.
I'm pretty sure you would because you're kind of a dumbass. So
I'm a stealth fucking ninja.
A stealth ninja. I never see you coming. You got it right. And I don't think
you sure don't.
And you never see women coming either. So all your lovers are ninjas too, aren't they? Okay, so are you ready to play the game?
1, Ninja 2, Ninja 3, Ninja 4, Ninja 5. And then on the other hand,
we've got 10 ninjas.
All right, let's play the game.
Are you ready? We're going to play the game, and you know
please.
what the game is. The game is where I'm going to read 3 reviews. 2 of them are real. 1 of them is fake, and Anthony has to guess which one is the fake one, because if he has to guess the real one, that would just be too easy now, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Yes. I think so. So you 2 can play along at home. You can see if I fooled you. I may do it. I may not. I would like some people to let me know if I fooled them. And you can text us at mikeandanthony@sodapopcultureclub.com. If you text us, email us. Yeah, text us. Yeah, whatever. But, although you can send email through text, can't you? Maybe. Anyways, I don't know.
Shut up.
Fuck off.
Just go.
Just play the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Here's the game. First one. Stephen Lang, The Sacramento Bee. Wes Craven created the perfect nightmare. Stephanie Harvey, Sunday Times. One of the best all-out horror movies ever made. Nicholas Royal, Time Out. It's all good, scary fun.
All right. I'm going to guess the first one.
And why would you do that?
Because you went Stephen Lang on me.
And what's that mean?
He is an actor. He's in, what was it? Don't Breathe. And Avatar, I know.
Fuck you again! How did you get that from Avatar?
Because we just watched Avatar, actually.
Fuck you!
Not long ago. It's been a little bit, but he's in Don't Breathe, which is a great horror movie.
I'm going to have to pick some really random fuckers now, because you're getting all the easy ones, I guess.
I thought you were going to do some random, like, somebody, like, in the freaking Elm Street lexicon somewhere.
No. I tried to go to a movie I didn't know that you watched or cared about, because I think
Avatar?
it's a shit movie.
What, Avatar?
Yeah, it's a shit movie.
It's not a shit movie. You're a shit person.
Oh, it is. I mean, come on. How crappy is the whole premise of that?
The Avatar ride at Disney is pretty badass.
That might be great, but that movie's whole premise is stupid. It's stupid.
It's better than Waterworld.
No.
Wow.
I don't think so. I think Waterworld's a better movie because it's more practical. It's less like fairies flying through the air on like fake animals that don't exist. You know? It's more
You're a fucking hater.
Why? Oh, you hit the
wrong one.
Yes, he hit his camera, and I'm like, where the fuck you go?
I had to blow my nose, so I had to mute because I got my allergies going all fucking stuffy and shit, and Flonase ain't doing fuck all. So I accidentally hit the camera and the mute.
Well, anyways, let's get off Avatar. We know it's a shitty movie. Let's get onto this movie. So, Nightmare on Elm Street, when did you first see it?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I want everyone to know you are, this is like your thing. This is like your Super Bowl of things.
Freddy, yes, Freddy's my dude. I love Freddy Krueger. He is my favorite. So, no, I really don't know the first time I watched it. I remember I was probably like, I think 11 when I got my Freddy mask and glove for Halloween, and I was Freddy Krueger for like next fucking 7 years straight or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was 10 or 11 when I got that, I think. Something like that. So yeah, I mean, when I first watched it, I want to say, it was elementary school for sure, but
yeah.
But I feel like it was, I really don't know. God, it was fucking 3rd grade, 4th grade. I don't know. I was young.
You had to be, because when it came out for me, I was in like 5th grade. And I remember when it came out, because I didn't go see it in a theater. I didn't see it till probably it was on HBO. Because back then, HBO was called Home Box Office for a reason. They would get movies rather quickly.
Yeah.
And, so I know I watched it there. But I remember there was a girl in my class who was just a freak for everything Freddy for some reason. It was like, she watched that movie and then she came to school and was like, "Oh, I love Freddy." And I'm like, wow, that's just weird. I just remember
I would probably get along with her much better than I do with you.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
look her up and see if she wants to co-host this shit.
You know what's funny is you can't find anybody from that time period in my life. No one joins any groups or anything saying, "Hey, I went to Randall Elementary in middle nowhere, Indiana." So yeah, it isn't happening. Doesn't happen. Trust me. Very hard to find. I found one person from there, and honestly, they probably didn't want to hear from me.
Probably
like
not.
you,
Can't blame them. Can't blame them.
Nah, back then, it's funny. Back then, I was a wonderful child. I got in trouble a lot. So there you go.
Yeah.
And not that I was dumb or stupid. I did bad in school. I just really like to just do whatever. So there's that.
Right. You were a dick.
Not a dick. I wasn't in trouble for beating people up or anything. I was in trouble more for just being a class clown. That was me.
But you still beat people up too.
Oh well, let's not go into that.
You've admitted.
Definitely not as bad as Freddy does. Transition.
That's a really weak ass transition, but okay, let's get into that.
No, I watched this movie a long time ago, just like you, and it's to the point now. It's felt like it's always been there. Like it's like one of those fixtures. It's kind of like Star Wars. It's like something that feels like the pop culture reference has always been there in your life, and it's kind of hard to, like you say, it's kind of hard to separate when you really watched it, right? Like
it is, yeah,
because it's just
been around forever.
Yeah, it's just been there.
Seen it so many times.
I remember that it was the time of year, and I remember the girl who was into that and wanting to dress up as Freddy and do all that. I remember that.
She sounds like a cool person.
Yeah, she was.
Cooler than you.
She was kind of cool. Which, actually, interesting story. I remember the girl. I don't remember her name, but I remember she was a family. In Indiana, they have a lot of farms. And back then, they would use a lot of migrant workers. Her family was actually migrant workers that just happened to live in the area during that time of the year when it was harvest, and she was going to our school at the same time. So I don't know.
You can't remember her name. That might also be a reason you can't find her or anyone else on social media, like we just said. If you can't remember their name, it's really hard to find them.
You're correct. You are correct.
I know.
I only remember certain people's names. That's if I kissed you, I probably remember your name. Think of it that way.
Really?
Yeah.
You can remember 3 names? Good job.
Good on you, buddy.
That's 3 names and a half right there. Way to go.
So, I just watched this. Things about this movie, like, that get me. My wife watched it with me because it's the only time she's ever going to see me watching a horror movie, so she took the opportunity.
Hell yes.
And I just want she watched it, and her thought was she can't believe she liked it.
Really?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, yeah. She was not a fan. Let's put it that way.
Why?
She was a fan, but now she's not. Well, I mean, there's some reasons. I mean, you got to think about, like, when this movie starts. Let's look at it that way. It took so long. I mean, you do get it. You do get the Tina scene at the start, and no one dies or anything. But it takes so long to get into what the movie's about, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a guy haunting people's dreams.
See, I don't have a problem with that for this because it's creepy as shit. It is fucked up. And what else do you need at that point before you get into the story?
I don't know. Like, and the other thing that's never explained, and you probably know the explanation, but remember, you have the thing that you've watched 6 of these movies or whatever.
6. There's more than 6.
Is it? Well, I'm thinking I know at least 5 with the numbers in them.
7. Then there's Freddy vs. Jason, and then there's the remake Elm Street.
Yeah. So
and there's the TV series.
But in this movie,
and then there's the comic books. And then there's
that's what I think. There's all that shit that probably you get a lot of information from. But when you watch this movie, when you, like me, it's kind of like I'm watching it back then because you know how often I watch horror movies. And I've never watched 3 or 4 or 5, 6 or 8, whatever all the other ones are. So it's like watching again. You really get no explanation as to how Freddy does what he does at all. Zero.
You know what? No.
Zilch.
You do in Freddy's Dead, and it is such a weak ass shitty explanation. It's so bad.
That's my thing.
Dream demons.
You want to spoil that for people?
Yes. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen a movie that's been released a couple of decades ago, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Freddy's dead. Doodle-doo-doo-doo.
These 3 stupid fucking skulls with flaming tail dream demon fuckers. They were so stupid.
So what did they do to him? Like, that's what I don't understand. How does he? So
they basically granted him his power to take on the underworld in the dream life.
See, that's our number one thing when we were watching this was that you'd have no explanation for that, and it took so long to get in the explanation of why he's there and the plot too. So it kind of feels so random. Other than these people are friends, obviously.
But you know, again, at first it's like, I think that's enough in the beginning because it's like, what the fuck's going on? All we know is what they know at this point. This guy is killing us in our dreams.
I get, yeah. I mean,
same fucking guy we all dream of.
True. Well, and you know what? I remember feeling that was something that I knew about the movies, that they all had the same person in their dreams. But when I rewatch it now, it isn't. They don't speak of it as strongly as I remember it being there. Like, it feels like really weak. Like Rod, he says something about it, but it's not like they're like, oh my gosh, you too, and then they go into talking about it. It's like just mentioned, but it doesn't feel like it's a strong connection as I made back then.
She just said, you mean at the very beginning?
Well, there's now the second time
he didn't talk about it until he was in jail.
Yeah. After Tina's dead, and that's when but it still felt like they didn't like she knows, she gets scared that he talks about it. Why not? Like, okay, why is he? She doesn't get curious and ask questions and talk about it. She backs away and leaves. It's like, I don't know. Just felt like now I don't see the connection as hard as I did back then. Like, it felt like back then they all knew and they talked about it, but it must have been my false memory, because now I watched it, I'm like, okay, they really didn't talk to each other about this at all.
They didn't flesh it out too much, did they? Well, no. Like, to be fair here, the first two that knew they dreamed about the same person was Nancy and Tina. Tina didn't last the rest of the night after they discovered that. So they didn't really have a chance to hash that one out.
Neither did Rod. But oh, sorry.
Wow. You know, another thing I got to point out too, just random, but I don't know if you really is pretty incredible about this movie too. You got an 80s horror movie, so successful, no boobs.
Actually, technically, when she gets pulled under the tub, you see side boob.
Side boob, but that's it. Other than that, we see no nipple.
You're right. This is an exception to that rule.
I think we see Rod's nipples. Maybe that's about it.
Rod. We see Tarzan's. But, you know, when you talk about this being 80s, one thing about this movie, and I was watching it, when you look at the sets, like the houses and the rooms and the quilts they're using, everything, this had the feel of the 80s. It was like,
oh yeah,
pre-home makeover shows, you know, like where everything felt homey and cozy, and it felt lived in. Like,
exactly. Like
going to grandma's house, right? Like,
yes, and grandma has a bottle of vodka up in the linen closet.
And
that's the 80s as it gets.
Yeah, that's his 80s. Yes. But my thing is, like, you know, you see the quilts and all that stuff, and it just felt so 80s. Like, it didn't feel like we're watching the movies now where it always feels like we're in a sleek, modern, minimalist room. You know, right. It felt like we're in what we grew up in, something lived in, something, you know, where stuff was. You know, it just now it feels like they spend so much time trying to make everything too slick, I guess.
Well, it's because they have money to do it. This movie may have tried even more if they had money.
Yeah, but they had all that shit. They had to get it somewhere. I mean, probably just rented a house and said, "Can we use your shit?
Can we use that, Afghan? Thank you. Is that your bottle of vodka? Can we use that? Thank you."
Now, you did mention Beth. Or I did. You know, Beth from Better Off Dead's in this.
Yes.
Which I think everyone needs to watch that movie because it is classic. You like that movie?
Yes.
Okay. But did you know $2? You know who Rod is, though? What movie he's in, right?
What?
Wildcats.
Oh, yes. Wildcats. Yeah. Yes, he is. Because I was like, I know he's in other shit, but
yeah, that's another good movie from
Wildcats.
the 80s.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah. Was he the backup quarterback, I think?
No, Woody Harrelson was... Well,
he was the backup.
He was the original quarterback and then moved to tight end.
Woody Harrelson, who looked 40 years old. Okay, sorry. I know, wrong movie, but but it's just funny. Oh man. But no, the other people, they're obviously Johnny Depp goes on to have a great career, but other than that, I mean, there's some people you recognize, like her dad. He's been in some things, but I don't know exactly what. The mother, I felt like I've seen her in other things, but
when I
looked her up her thing, I was like, wait, this has to be the only thing I've seen her in because there's nothing else I can recognize, like on her IMDb, or it's not credited.
I don't know if it's that or she just looks like somebody that you would see in a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That is
she looks like she's been on Knots Landing and shit, and you just didn't know, or something like that. I don't know.
The cop at the end who was watching to see if anything strange happened at the house, he looked familiar too, but I couldn't place him.
Yeah,
I couldn't place where he was.
The guy at the Dream Clinic, he's been in shit too.
Oh, what's he been in?
Oh God, I can't remember. He's been in stuff though. I've seen him in stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, see, you watched. See, the thing is you might have because if they're in these horror movies, they might still be in that sphere, that world,
right.
And I don't watch that, so for me, it's like it's got to cross over into the movies that people really like.
Shut up, you goddamn cockweasel!
And back in the day, I never made the connections.
Charles Fleischer.
Yeah. I never made connections with all these people. Like, I seen Wildcats, I seen Better Off Dead, and I seen this movie, but never thought, oh, these people are all in this. I never thought that. Johnny Depp I did later on. But that was it.
Charles Fleischer was in Back to the Future Part 2 as Terry.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, the guy is he's been in a lot of shit.
He's that guy. You don't know who he is,
but yes.
He's that guy in that movie. I'm that guy.
Funny enough, he was in a 2005 a show or movie called Freddy with an IE at the end.
Of course. Maybe that's a porn.
He does a lot of voice work too.
Or was Freddy that wasn't like Freddie Prinze show, was it?
No. I don't know, maybe.
Wasn't there a Freddie Prinze show
I don't fucking know.
Okay, well, what do I know?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No, but I do know this. The sex sounds were awful. It's like her.
God. Run! Yeah, I'm sorry. Anybody that moans like that ain't doing it right.
Maybe, or here's the thing. Maybe you don't know what it sounds like for it to be doing right, and that is
over-sexing.
Over-sexing.
They're getting over-sexed.
And, Tina dies. We'll get to that. But we find out she was 15. These people do not look this age. Rod looks like he's in his 20s.
None of them ever look like that when they're high school students. We've had this discussion many times. Because they're not that old. They're always fucking 32.
And then later on, the one girl's looks in her thing and says, I look like I'm 20. And you know how old she was when she made this movie? Fucking 20. What's her name? The main character. I can't remember.
Nancy.
Yeah. Nancy. Yeah, Nancy. She was the actress was 20 when she made the movie. So when she said, I look like I'm 20, it's like,
20 years old.
You're fucking 20. I'm so old. It's like you are fucking 20. Now, the first kill with Tina, do you think they leaned into too many of the cliches of horror movies? Or because we know Wes Craven created Scream, right?
Right.
And he made that to be a wink and a nod towards the things he did before.
Right, making fun of all the cliches, yes.
Do you think this had all those cliches, like when she leaves the house and says, who is that? And, all that bullshit. Do you think this leans in a little hard on that?
I don't know, because, I guess compared to what? Because this is 1984.
Yeah.
How many,
True.
I guess, at this point,
Halloween.
How many cliches did we have up to this point?
Everything in Friday the 13th series and Halloween, pretty much.
Okay.
Those two had already been multiple movies at that point, but
Well, I guess, yeah, every stupid kid says who's there when they hear a noise and they go outside to investigate.
But what are the rules that the dude came up with in Scream that he talked about?
You can never have sex.
So that's one of the cliches that happens.
No drinking or drugs. And don't
that
ever
happens.
say you'll be right back, because you won't be back.
Yeah, so I think they definitely broke the one rule, and that was the sex.
They fucked. They're dead.
The mother drank.
Yep.
And technically, what's her name? Nancy did drugs because she was.
Even though I don't think
caffeine.
she broke the rule for drinking, I think she broke the rule for burning Freddy alive. That's probably more what led to her demise.
Yeah, I would agree. That was.
I don't think he cared as much about her taking a swill or two here and there. In the fucking morning. In the morning, too, man. Coffee's on, and she's drinking vodka. Wow.
I would agree. And the other thing is, when I watched this, I thought the kids, the people who played the children, put in better performances than the adults. Like, it felt like the acting was so bad by the adults comparatively. The only one who was questionable a little bit was Rod.
Yeah.
But everyone else I thought had, well, obviously Johnny Depp's a good actor.
Right.
But everyone else there was pretty solid. Like, it was believable.
I definitely think so. I would say, yeah, Heather Langenkamp, Johnny Depp, and Tina were all really good. Rod, yeah, I mean, he wasn't bad per se. I think maybe compared to the other three, he was. And yeah, some of those don't look at me like I'm some freaking fruitcake here. Warning you, some of
he's overdoing that. That's he's like way over the top. I think with that bullshit. That's how I see it. I don't know. I just felt like he was a little over the top. But that first night when they're with Tina and all that, I forgot to go. I have a 6-pack for that. One of my favorite scenes from this, and it's probably iconic, and you've seen it all the time.
Yep.
Is when Freddy's pressing his face and hands through the wall above. Is it Nancy
on the ceiling?
I forgot. Yeah, on the ceiling. I just think that is a great scene.
Yeah.
At that time I had never seen that before.
Especially that is because I'm going to tell you, especially for the budget they had.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the shit in there, it's like it's some of the quote unquote effects are weak. But you're working with what you got. It's also 1984. It's not like we've got high-tech CGI and all this shit. So there's that. But can I get my generic then? I'm just going to give that now.
Go ahead. You can do it. We can do it out of order. It's all
my generic, because I have to say this. Even though I get what you're trying to do, you've got no money to shoot this. But my generic is the stairs scene. When she's running up the stairs.
Okay, I have that on here. Yes, that is.
Whatever. Now, it's like, which I get, actually, the idea of it is phenomenal because that is like a scary thing people dream about. Like, you're running and you can't go anywhere.
And your feet get stuck.
Anywhere. But just the way they did it, like, you know what I mean? Because you could see the fucking spots in the stairs where, it's glue or whatever the hell is actually in there. It's like, you're watching, you're like, just don't step there. Walk up the side of the stairs and you're fucking fine.
You fucking see where it's at.
It's right there. What are you doing? And you walked into the next one. What the fuck?
I don't think we were supposed to see that, and we did. I think.
Yeah, well.
I think it would have been better if they cut it to where she takes the steps and then we just look down and see her feet in the goo rather than seeing all the steps.
Coming out of it, yes.
Yeah. It's just, I think that would have been a more impactful thing.
Again, I think that's something you chalk up to budget constraints, not just for the effect, but for not being able to cut it correctly either.
It's definitely. Now I wanted to go over a couple things. Let's see. I've got there's a couple things that make me laugh that shouldn't probably, and you're probably going to be angry.
Like when they fuck and they're moaning.
What?
When they fuck and they're moaning.
Well, that one, I already went over that. But okay. But the one thing that Freddy does that annoys me every time, but you probably like it, is where he looks at him, kind of cocks his head to the side and puts his glove up next to his face and does spirit fingers. It's kind of comical, like, Tina, or
Well,
Nancy.
you know what? No, so
It's so fucking hilarious.
It is, but you say that because of what a joke Freddy became, because he was always with the one-liners and everything. So I think that impacts that kind of stuff in this one more now.
You think the third, fourth, fifth movie is affecting my opinions?
He developed, but what you know about Freddy. But I'm saying you for not being like a hardcore Elm Street fan. You know what I mean? Like you see Freddy stuff everywhere, you see clips of it, and you see all that shit.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that influences what that kind of stuff had become, other than just what it was in that first film.
Yeah. Okay. But I think it's comical. Just that it's not a generic for me. It's just comical. It's comical. Yeah. Like when she's in the hall and he's the hall monitor. When he gets up and he does it like that, it was just kind of goofy.
That wasn't him though. That was her. That was that girl.
No, but when he gets up, it's Freddy when she looks back and he's like,
no, it was still the girl though. She says,
"Oh, with the glove, yeah, with the glove,
running in the hallways, but with the glove on,
but still doing the action.
But it still was the
doing the action. Yeah. It's still Freddy. But here's
you got to do that though. They're like highlighting his fucking murder weapon.
I get it.
You know what I mean? You're using it as a prop and a communication device.
I understand, but do you think when she got back...
Do you think it has more impact if he takes his fucking normal burnt hand and just wags his finger? No running in the hallway.
Well, he thought it was cool to cut him off and squirt out goo.
Yeah,
but...
that again, I will absolutely concede.
How about I'll rip open my chest and show you my maggots?
Exactly. Check this out. Or how about Tina's just sitting in the hallway and I'm going to just start like shitting snakes everywhere.
Like, yeah, or how about she rips my face off and I just have my skull?
Yeah. That fucking... I totally agree with that. But again, there's no money. The $1 million movie that they made. So they definitely were lacking on the effects and that stuff.
Yeah, I got this though. Do you think when she got done having her nightmare at school, and she wakes up and the teacher says, we'll call your parents, and she leaves the room and she says, you're going to need a hall pass. Do you think that was a joke attempt?
Yeah.
To call back on the hall monitor?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. I told my wife that and she said no, but my wife doesn't have a sense of humor. So I want someone else
true. She doesn't. So yeah.
So I needed someone else to help to confirm what I thought.
Yeah. No, that's pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why your wife didn't like it, because she doesn't understand it, because she can't figure out simple things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely a fucking subtle little joke about that.
Yeah. Did you?
I'm sorry too. You're just letting the fucking kid walk home by themselves. Different time here after you just had a nervous breakdown in the middle of class.
Well, the 80s were a different time.
I know, but that happens today. You're getting restrained and detained.
There weren't many before and after school programs, and kids walked home and parents were home for hours. That's how it was.
Yep.
That's how we learned about porn.
That's how you
at
go
other
home,
people's houses.
Bust out a box of Freaky's cereal and
get
the Nintendo.
They parents should be so lucky to hope that the only thing we did was play Nintendo and watch He-Man and Thundercat cartoons. Because
no shit.
If you were going over to your friend's house, it's because he said, "Hey, I found my dad's stash" or something.
Yep.
Or we're drinking or something. I don't know.
Oh man, I remember that. Not my dad's stash, but finding.
Yeah.
The first friend of mine who was able to score us some nudie mags.
Procure some materials.
Yes.
I got one for you.
Glorious time.
See, to me, there are some funny parts of this movie.
Yeah. Like the hall pass that your wife didn't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the glove thing was kind of comical to me. And the other thing was, it's like when she's outside of the house, and when she tells Glenn, don't go to sleep, and she's outside the house and she's near the bush, and she goes and she's looking around, and Freddy pops out like, "Ha ha, surprise!" I just thought that was like, fuck. Me and horror, I laugh a little, and I thought that was funny more than anything. I don't know.
All right, now let's get away from funny. What about what turns you on in this movie? Because don't tell me, after the conversations you have had about Patrick Swayze and his glistening abs, don't tell me that Johnny Depp in that number 10 belly shirt didn't do something for you.
How do you know that number 10 belly shirt isn't my thing I want from the movie?
Oh, shit.
You don't know that, but, you know,
Well,
could
I
be.
mean,
That means I've thought about it.
well, you just said it. You have thought about it.
And I'd want to wear it, too. For you.
Motherfucker. That is an iconic movie piece of history. You're not wearing that because you will ruin it.
But is Glenn a shit boyfriend because he goes to sleep?
Actually,
he keeps going to fucking sleep. That's
Johnny Depp today would fucking ruin that, trying to put that thing on.
Yeah, he probably would. He'd do it as Captain Jack, though. So
Jack Sparrow ain't getting into that thing.
I'm not wearing this. Jack Sparrow would be awesome.
Oh.
I like him. Yeah, Johnny Depp would be cool. Who knew? Worse things happened in his bed before his dog shit on his pillow.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like the whole blood scene at the end with 137 gallons of blood getting shot up to the ceiling. You'd have thought that'd be the worst bed experience of his life. No.
And you know what? I'll tell you this. That's one of my generics.
Okay.
Is that my problem with that is that's not his blood. You don't have that many pints of blood in your fucking body.
We know this, but it just takes it up a notch and makes it epic.
And you could tell it was a upside down room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because when they at the final shot, you see some of it running to one side, like they had turned it. So
remember, for the budget of this movie, I thought that was actually pretty epic.
Like, that was pretty good.
It was epic. It really was. I mean, to give your last big kill scene, something like that. I mean,
was it the last big kill scene? I don't know.
You got to figure too. Like when you're, and I know, and people for years and years now have been talking about that. What is the deal with all that blood? All right, but yet they'll overlook Tina getting drug across the ceiling, the walls.
Oh, up in the corner of the ceiling, and then
tapping all over.
Yeah, that bed was nasty, bloody. Yeah, she was all bloody.
Like those are two pretty epic bookend kill scenes for a movie, and then you got Rod. He gets a fucking sheet as a noose.
Rod the bod.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, and I have a question about that. You know, when he gets killed, the sheet goes around his neck. Does that mean he's dreaming about Freddy when that happens? Because Freddy can't be just out in the random world doing that.
Yeah, no, he fell asleep.
So Rod didn't know he was doing that while he was sleeping, I guess. Usually you're in the dream and you can see things coming based on how the rules of other people's dreams are. We never saw in his dreams to know.
Well, we didn't see in Johnny Depp's.
We saw in Tina's and
sucked under a bed. Well,
and Nancy's.
The only one we saw as far as that goes.
Yeah.
All the other murders, we don't see what's going on in their dreams.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things I like, I'm going to give you a... Go ahead.
Sorry, remember Rod, too. That was like... Because then he wakes up, or apparently is awake, while it's happening.
Oh, yeah, he does. Because it's already done now. He's already up in the air.
At this point, it's like... No, he's struggling and stuff when it's pulling him up.
Yeah.
And there's that question, which does actually, to me... Because like the later Elm Street movies, it was more you die in your dream this way, and they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not where they're awake while it's going on. So I don't know.
You think it's all a dream thing? Is like the whole explanation.
The whole thing a dream, or did you wake up and then it's still going on, kind of thing?
Well, we'll get to that here in a moment. But one of my 6-pack is when before Glenn dies. The phone thing where she unrips the phone from the wall and walks out of the room and the phone rings and she goes back. And one of my favorite things is the tongue on the phone. That to me is like, so it's cool and it's gnarly. It's gnarly. I really did.
I gotta say, I don't even know if it's the tongue on the phone or that actual fucking phone, that 1980s phone.
Or how about the fact that the only thing you had to do so that no one would contact anyone in your house was take the phone off the hook. Think of that. That's all. No one had their own cell phones. You just had to take the phone, the receiver, take it off the hook, and that's it. You were done.
Dude, she ripped the jack out of the wall and it still rang.
I mean, on Glenn's side, when she called, it was busy because the father had taken the phone off the hook.
Oh yeah, well, parents are stupid in this movie.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
He took it off the hook. Well, he did take it off the hook.
Now, we talked a second ago about the real world and the dream world.
Yeah.
Some people say that this movie pushed that envelope of making the audience not know what's real or a dream. Do you think that's what this did? Was it supposed to make us feel that? I felt more of that at the end than I did at the beginning. Let's put it that way.
Yes, this is the movie. This did for going to sleep what Jaws did for going into the water.
Oh, you think? Oh, so it made okay. I give you that. So people, I bet lots of kids had nightmares after watching this thing.
Oh shit!
Definitely, because that's the thing I wondered. And the other thing I wondered was, okay, so Freddy was a real person, right?
Yes.
And he killed kids when he was alive. He killed like 20 of them. And then when he dies, he then haunts the dreams of the kids. Why doesn't he haunt the dreams of the people who killed him? I know he killed kids while he's alive, but you would think that your vengeance wouldn't be at that. It would be at the people who killed him. Are we to assume all these people's parents that were kids were involved, their parents were the ones who killed him? Or
yes, exactly.
Am I supposed to assume that? Because I don't know that.
At first, it's because he's going after the kids of the people that killed him.
You think that's it? So Rod's parents did?
Yes.
All of those? Okay, is that something you learned later? Or is that actually something I should know?
That's the way I think you take it.
Okay.
But now, see, here's something, and this is where it's weird then. Because then you get, and I don't want to jump too far ahead into other parts of the series since we're focusing on
that's why it's hard. This movie set up so much.
Part 2 is all jacked up because the guy that Freddy's going after is because he moves into Nancy's old house.
So it's more about the house at that point.
At that point, it's Elm Street. But then in part 3, when Nancy comes back and the kids at the psycho ward that she's working with, she's telling them that their parents and her parents all got together to kill him.
Okay.
So the idea is really supposed to be that he's going after the children of the parents that killed him. Because when you think about it, I mean, and it makes more sense actually to me with what you're saying. Why wouldn't he just go after them? Couldn't you do more harm killing their children than you would just killing them? To them.
I guess. Or killing
You're like,
them both.
I guess. You're like, take my kid, just fucking leave me.
Or how about this? Kill them both at the same time. You can go into their dreams. It sounds like whatever you want. Kill them both in the same night.
Well, see, now it just depends because, first of all, Nancy's dad's a cop. He doesn't sleep. Nancy's mom is a raging alcoholic. So
does that have an effect? Yeah. Should we just all be drinking?
Can't get into her dreams. She's not. She doesn't dream. Vodka is apparently a dream depressant.
She hallucinates. She doesn't dream.
Exactly.
I'm just saying maybe everyone should be drinking. Everyone should be getting drunk.
Hey, there you go. That's why Freddie ain't going to get me right here.
Another thing I liked was, it's not a 6-pack or anything, but the TV signing off at midnight.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. People don't remember that. That's a thing. It would turn off. Now, the reason they kept it around is when we got cable channels and stuff, they then found they could sell that time to advertisers. And that's why you started seeing all those Genzu knives and crazy stuff from midnight to 6 a.m. or something like that.
The chat line.
Oh, yeah.
The teen lines.
Call 1-900, blah, blah, blah.
I got a question. When and where was Miss Nude America airing on TV ever? Because that's
holy shit.
That's bullshit.
Where is that? He had to have cable, and it had to be on some like HBO or something.
Yeah, either that or he turned it over to Channel 3 when the other channel went out.
Yeah.
Like adjusted.
He turned the knobs a little.
Get a max.
Yeah, Miss Nude America. That's how I wondered. It's like, and what's so cool is his mother's like, it's like midnight. And she's like, are you going to bed yet? No, I'm just going to stay up a little.
I can't wait until my son gets older. Then I can tell him about my hardships. Like, I didn't have porn on my phone.
When he's watching Pornhub while you're sitting there.
Knob of black and white fuzzy TV just to hopefully get a glimpse of a nipple.
Say, hey, why don't you watch me do this old school? Run it through a VCR.
No.
Oh, man. I have something for you. So we get to the end of this movie, and she's going to lure Freddy out, right? That's the whole point.
Yes.
Do you think, I've got a couple comparisons here.
Traps.
Is she the horror equivalent of Rambo? And also, did Home Alone copy her?
I will tell you this. I think she is a cross between Kevin McAllister and Ash from Evil Dead.
She became before Kevin McAllister. She's more Ash.
I get that, but I'm saying as far as who I would compare her to, whether it's previous to that or after, she's Ash and Kevin McAllister.
Okay. And did it take more than 20 minutes for her to build that shit?
Fuck yeah. Hey, did it take Kevin McAllister more than a fucking afternoon to build all his shit?
I know, man. She says, Dad, come in 20 minutes. And she even set that fucking alarm on her watch.
Fucking Ash, did it take him more than an hour to build all his shit?
Oh, yeah.
Chainsaw hand? Yes. You got to suspend disbelief here.
Yeah, that shit took some time, and they didn't. But my thing is, I didn't know how she was going to use them because I hadn't seen this movie in a while. I guess I knew she was going to take him into the real world. I didn't know how the booby traps would affect him. It seems like they were fairly effective.
Yeah, well, she brought him out, yeah.
Yeah, so they ended up being pretty good.
That fucking light bulb filled with gunpowder, I'm thinking lets off a bigger explosion than it did.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it's glass of shards would be inside them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they're all going down after that one.
I thought the bad move, though, was catching him on fire in the basement and trying to burn the house down with your mother in it. But, hey, you know.
Do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And I need some explanations on this. The whole thing. You know. I need everything explained once she sees the mother getting killed by Freddy, and then the father comes in, takes the fire off of him, and then pulls the sheets off. And what the fuck is she doing going down into the bed? It's not. Are we still in a dream world? What is going on?
Yeah, this is where
I need help. I need help.
You know what? We don't know because honestly, look what happens then when she walks out the door.
Well, that's my thing. And then the next thing that happens, this is why I need help. So then they go out the door and you think the slate just got wiped clean because Freddy's dead or something. Because she said, you don't have any power over me. She turns around, he disappears. But then all of a sudden she's in a car that's painted like a sweater and driving down the road. And who knows? I don't know. Is this a dream?
Yeah. At that point,
is everything just a fucking dream?
You know, you don't know. It crosses the line at this point. So they're sleepwalking. Let's just say that all day.
So we really have no clue what's going on.
Really don't.
At the end of this.
But it's so fucking awesome.
You can't explain to me this ending at all. Okay.
What do you explain? They got taken away.
Was anything resolved?
No, because you got to leave it open for the sequel.
Oh, fuck me.
All that was resolved is we found out her mom can fit through that skinny little fucking window at the top of the door.
Yeah, but it was obviously a fake person.
Oh, duh.
When the legs are going through,
and
it's
she's
like a mannequin.
Straight, like completely rigor mortis had already set in before she was dead and just go straight through.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, now this is just it's something for me. Like the one thing I didn't like. Just going back to it now that I'm glad they changed was the sweater. How the sleeves were plain red and it didn't have the stripes. Once they added the stripes on the sweater, looked much better. Yeah,
it was very Evil Waldo. That's really what it is. So I got some 6-packs. I got a couple more I want to go over, and they're the obvious ones. Obviously, if you don't make Freddy Krueger one of your 6-packs, you're an idiot. Because the character itself is...
Well, duh.
I mean, it's the character that spawned a whole franchise. So
he's the greatest horror villain ever to me. And it's not just the character himself. It's the whole premise of the movie and the idea of what he represents, that you can get killed.
And nobody can escape him.
and you can't escape because seriously, and that's what's the freaky thing about it. I mean, how many times you've been like so fucking tired you can't keep your eyes open because you cannot just stay awake.
No.
You know, that's the freaky part. It's like
he'll get you eventually.
You get so fucking tired, you're just about like, fuck it then, just get me. I'm too tired to mess with it.
But the shitty explanation how he got his power now kind of like makes you go, fuck it. You know, but he's the greatest. He's a great character. He's on the Mount Rushmore. Who do you think's on that Mount Rushmore? You got Freddy, Jason.
How big is it? Is it just 4 like Mount Rushmore?
How about 5? Top 5.
Top 5. Oh shit.
Are you gonna go classics? Because the classics are Dracula, Werewolf,
right? Right.
Mummy,
right.
But
no, I mean not for me, just because it's not my time period. Freddy, Pinhead.
Hellraiser, huh?
Oh, yeah. I just watched the new one the other day, too. With the female Pinhead in it.
Okay.
Let's see.
I mean, there's some you're missing.
It's not that meta. I'm just like...
You don't think Mike Myers or Jason?
No, I do. I'm just saying, like... I gotta tell you, so... I wouldn't put Jason on there.
Okay.
Only because, to me... I feel like I have to make a choice because I feel like you were either like a Freddy guy or a Jason guy growing up. I think, you had your favorite. And
yeah.
Now to me, Freddy's on there again, not just because it's a cool villain, but it's like I said, the whole
his mama didn't have to kill for him in the first movie.
Yeah, and it's not just you just have these, but it's in the dream world, so that allows you to have more leeway rather with what he can do rather than talking about somebody just has mythical crazy fucking powers, can't die.
Yeah.
That's
true.
So that's why for me I'd go Michael Myers over Jason, and I feel like I wouldn't put them both on there because you can only have on your Mount Rushmore so many fucking people in masks that walk around and don't talk.
That's so fucking true,
what I mean?
Man. That's so
You're just walking around with a mask and a blade really fucking slow and you don't say a goddamn word. I think you pick one or the other.
Danny Trejo from Machete.
So yeah, definitely. So what's yours? Because you don't even like horror movies.
Well, I was going to tell you that when it comes to horror, you're right. I don't have big grasp, but I was like, would you consider the alien from Aliens a horror thing? It's space horror, right?
Science fiction horror, depending on
like the Alien. I think that's fairly iconic.
I don't think the Alien would be in my Mount Rushmore though. It's a fucking alien. Like to me, that's
that whole alien look horror. That's been copied so much.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's cool.
That's
but
what I'm saying. But no, I think if I don't go classics like Frankenstein, Werewolf, Dracula, Mummy, I think those are givens. Those are like archetypes that everything else, But when you look at the 80s, we had the new style. I think Freddy is truly a new style of a character. So I go with that. I think you're right. You pick between either Jason or Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I don't think you go wrong with either one. I think you go Michael Myers because he was first, probably.
Not necessarily because he was first, I would say, but to me, Michael Myers is better.
Well, I always say, he's the one who started the craze, so he must be the guy. And then Chucky, because once again, while his movie's not as good, his character is ridiculously amazing.
It is, but I don't know if I would put him on my Mount Rushmore. Again, if I'm only getting 5.
And then
there's Pennywise.
Pennywise, Pennywise.
This through. Because, and it's like even today, we don't have this anymore. And that's the thing.
We'll never have this golden age again.
We'll never have that again. We're never going to have people coming up with these types of horror villains. I guess to me, it's like almost would I put Ghostface in there from Scream.
Yeah, and even though I'm not a fan of horror,
several different people throughout the series.
He created Wes Craven changed the game a few times, didn't he?
Yes, he did. But what's great about that though too, because I'm talking about when I talk about horror villains, or who would you put in your Mount Rushmore? I go with a combination of what did they look like?
Yeah.
What did they do? What's their backstory? Like all those things. But when you look at Ghostface, this was a fucking like $5 Kmart Halloween costume before Scream came out.
Yeah.
You know? And now you're paying $59.99 for Halloween. Like that's the brilliance of it.
I would say that definitely sets it apart. I want to get to my final six. Do you have another 6-pack? I don't know if we've ever.
I didn't really do my 6-packs yet. Freddy, obviously. I mean, you got to make that a 6-pack because it is.
Yeah.
My favorite 6-pack actually out of this movie is the very beginning when it shows him making his glove.
Like before he's dead, even. That's actually when he's still alive.
The movie even starts, yes.
Yeah, that's like, because you can tell he's not burnt or anything, so that's when he's still alive.
Like, that's craftsmanship. That's awesome.
Kinda. It's kind of a shitty work area. Like, I don't know, but.
Well, I mean, he's in a boiler room.
Yeah, he could have used the better leather because it looked all torn up when he first made it.
Still some. I'm like, you're just grabbing the only glove that's in there, or what? It's like, you got to get some use out of this. Why are you getting a glove that's already got holes in it? You get some fucking use out of this. You're going to be using this for a while. Like,
maybe that was his jerk glove, and he wanted to make it special. He wore it out a lot.
I was going to say it was his jerk glove. That's why I had so many holes in it.
Oh yeah, you're not going to use that now. Do you have another one? Is that a 6-pack?
I actually do also. I love the very end when the hood comes up and it's got the stripes on it.
Okay, so yeah, that is pretty cool.
The top on the car.
Would you want that car? Oh, actually, we'll get to that. Maybe you would. I don't know.
Ooh. So I would actually say the other thing that personally is just the, and I know you made a note about the music in general in this movie, which is
that's, if you want me to, I'll say that's my generic.
But just the main Elm Street theme song, the piano.
Yes.
It's
great sometimes, isn't it? That's why it's generic to me, because when you get the main little theme,
it's so good, and then
you get to the funeral, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so that's something I'll say too. Like, so Freddy's music and the Halloween theme,
classics,
fucking classics. They're so simple but so good.
I mean, Friday the 13th has the kill,
right?
You know,
right.
So I mean, they each have the thing, right? Like. And that's why they're great. Chucky doesn't really have one other than the Buddy song or whatever it is.
Was there a song?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure there was on that little fucking cartoon.
Cartoon?
But my final 6-pack, I was going to say, is Wes Craven. Because that dude created 3 different horror movies. I don't know what the other one. I know this one and Scream. What?
Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, he like reinvented the whole horror thing a few times. And reset it, you know, like, and I think he did Scream and reset it then, and now I think more recently it was reset probably by what's his name, Keenan Peele or whatever, or Jordan Peele, who's the guy who's making all the movies that are horror now, like this, like Us, the one that just came out, and
yeah. Us was really good.
Yeah, I'm saying that guy did it, and then Rob Zombie, I think, reset horror a little.
You know, so Rob Zombie, which I love Rob Zombie's movies, I don't know that he reset it because I feel like, I can say in a way, Rob Zombie is kind of like the Kevin Smith of horror movies.
Yeah, overachiever?
No, just
okay.
He created his own.
Oh yeah,
that yeah. You're going to get people that love that shit, but it's not going to be mass, like mainstream.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd agree.
Like
it's not every
kind of.
People are going to love it, but not everyone's going to love it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to have the appeal to the masses.
Horror's like that though, isn't it? Like, it's like when you make a movie for $1 million and make 50.
I'm sorry. I do. Captain Spaulding is on my Mount Rushmore.
Who's that?
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay, there you go.
He's definitely on there.
So there you go. You know, hey, you came out with it.
I got 3. I got 3 down.
It's not the guy from the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, the bad guy in that one.
Yeah,
that guy's
no.
pretty cool. You don't consider that a horror movie?
Billy Zane?
No, that's not that. No, the
Who's
guy
that
who
in?
played he says Naksuna Moon. He's the bald guy with not Billy
Yeah.
Zane bald, but
No.
different bald.
No.
He's like the priest that brings the horsemen out and all that. Yeah. But that's like what I'd like to call action adventure horror. Like not really horror, but
See, my Mount Rushmore, you know what?
horror elements.
If I had if actually built this Mount Rushmore just to fuck with people, I put Beetlejuice up there too.
Actually, that one I see
He's a great
probably. Yeah,
this is comedy horror, so I can't put in the same vein.
That's what she said.
Yep, the main vein.
So that's it. That's our talk about this movie. We talked about it.
We did.
It's a good movie. But
It's
now
a
you got to
classic.
rate it. Do you want to rate it first or me?
It's truly a See, here's the thing. I don't want you to rate it at all.
Okay.
Because if you shit in my Fruit Loops again, we're going to have a problem.
I didn't shit in your Fruit Loops on Sleepaway Camp 2.
You didn't.
But I'm going to tell you, I like that movie better.
You like it better than Nightmare on Elm Street? You would, because you're not a true horror fan. So you would like something, and Sleepaway Camp 2 had boobies.
Yes, that's it. No, I mean, I don't know. No, I'm more entertained by Sleepaway Camp 2. Doesn't mean I think it's a better movie, though. Remember that.
All right.
So you go ahead, you do your rating, and then I'll shit on your Fruit Loops.
Okay. My rating is pretty simple. It's a fucking 24. Now, I'm going to be completely honest and say, without a doubt, I could easily knock shit off of that score because of some of the things that we talked about. Like, there is definitely some of the horror-related visuals and things didn't fit and were just not needed either. I think actually, rather than changing it, they'd just taken that stuff out, it would have been better off. So I do feel like they were doing what they could with the budget they had. So you had to add, it's like almost kind of like, what can we put in here during a dream sequence kind of thing. But that aside, it was made for $1.1 million, which is like, it's like Clerks, pretty much. So with that, like that to me doesn't take away from it at all, because when you're talking about a movie that fucking changed horror completely, it brought you something you've never fucking seen before, because this is, instead of the Draculas, the Wolfmen, the Frankensteins, the mummies, the Michael Myers, the silent but deadly types and all this, this was completely out of left field, way different, but became a fucking standard of horror.
Yeah.
So there's, to me, again, for me as a horror fan, there's no way I couldn't give this a 24. Even if I still say Nightmare on Elm Street 4, I think is probably still my most enjoyable one of the whole series. Like, this is where it started. And again, looking back, I do think they could have redone this even on the same budget and actually made it better. There's a lot they could have done with it looking back. But for what they were able to accomplish, fuck no. 24. All day.
Okay.
All day. Now go ahead and ruin shit for me. Ruin fucking Halloween season right now.
I was watching with my wife, and I asked her the question. I said, does this hold up to you when you watch it now? And she's like, I don't understand. She told me, she says, no, because I don't understand watching it the way it is now.
Your wife doesn't understand anything.
How I even liked it. And I was like, well, I mean, you did. So, I mean, I mean, there's still aspects of it that are great. I mean, it has a great character. Has the guy who created it, which is amazing. It has Johnny Depp, really young, glistening abs, number 10 shirt all the way.
Your wife's favorite restaurant is fucking Bob Evans. So
it is
I don't understand how she can say, I don't know why I ever liked this. Why can't she say that about Bob Evans? Bob Evans fucking sucks.
I would agree that Bob Evans sucked. Okay, so, But no, I enjoyed it. Like I said, Sleepaway Camp 2, because to me, horror movies, they fall into different categories.
Yeah.
And they're in two different categories, but one category I enjoy more, and that's the more funny style that one was.
Stuff. This
has some of the funny stuff, but it's not like it got later on. Like he said, it gets a little more campy as the series goes on. The campiest thing he did in this movie was the big wide arms in the street. That's like probably the campiest thing to me that he did was like have big arms.
Actually, I thought it was. I didn't even think that was I thought that was actually cool.
Oh, okay. Well,
hold on. Let me just say. It was just weird. But also, again, there's this fucking guy. You don't know who the hell he is, but all of a sudden he's Stretch Armstrong. Just to make sure he can get his arm over to the wall and scratch on it.
I think that's the only reason they did that. But anyways, but no, it was cool. And I'll tell you, I get the mania of it, and I get how scary it is for some people. So I understand. I understand Spawned a great character. I was going to give it, and I'll tell you this, a 13, which is one less than I gave Sleepaway Camp 2. However, I added 3 for 2 things, and that is Freddy Krueger and Wes Anderson. Or what's his name?
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven. I say Wes Anderson, the other director. Wes Craven. So it's a 16 for me. So it's not totally shitting in
listen, and I'm not. This kind of movie, I wouldn't be pissed how you scored it because I know your taste in movies. Whether I think it's good taste or not, that's to be
debated
another time.
Yeah,
but I get that, and I get it. It's not your cup of tea, something that you would want to watch all the time. So I understand that. But you know what? That gives us a very respectable score of 20 for this.
Yeah.
Which I'm good with.
You better be, because that's all you're getting.
I did all I could to bring up the average.
I did all I could to bring up the average. Nice.
I set the curve.
Nice.
But I mean, I think that's a very fair rating for this, considering again what it did for the genre.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I really think, and I think if we did Scream, that would probably rank higher.
We did Scream.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
When did we do Scream? Oh, we did do Scream.
Look it up.
Yeah. So no, it didn't rank higher. Never mind.
No, my score may have been higher, or was it not?
Yours was 11.5 for Scream.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
We've been doing this fucking show too long. I can't even remember we did that.
What did you give Scream?
I give it a 20.
Okay, so that's about
15.75.
Scream didn't hit me right. I understand what it did for the genre, but I just don't respect it as much as I did this one. Let's put it that way. Just didn't feel it.
You know, you got to think of it this way. It's like it was brilliant what Wes Craven did with Scream, but at the same time, he's using what he's already done to be able to get to that point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Elm Street helped him put in the legwork to be able to come up with Scream.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So what is this better than, just better than, or same as? I don't want to hear really great movies being fucked over by this movie.
It's better than The Forsaken. The Forsaken, we gave it 6. There you go.
Oh, you're talking about horror genre in general. Okay.
Let's see here.
Yeah, The Forsaken was shit. Go ahead.
Dazed and Confused, 22.5.
Well, yeah, that's a better movie than this.
I mean, what kind of movies you want me to give it? Just against horror movies, or
just whatever's 20 or 19 or whatever's right there?
I'm looking for 20s, bitch. Gross Point Blank was 19.5.
Better movie than this. For me.
Right. To you.
Yeah, I scored it better, too.
Let's see here. The Goonies, 20.75.
Ooh, interesting. There's a lot of people who push back on the Goonies these days who say it's not as good.
Those people are fuckholes.
They smoke the crack, yes.
Yes, they do.
They are the devil's rejects, like that
poster.
Yeah.
Grease, 19.
It's better than this.
No, it's not.
Did more money in the 70s.
Because it had John Travolta and Olivia Newton's John.
Yeah.
Almost Famous, 19.5.
Better movie than this.
21.5, Rocky Horror.
Better movie than this. For sure.
That's your opinion, bitch.
20. I scored it better.
The Matrix.
What? 20. The Matrix? Well, Matrix is a really good movie, and I think it's a better movie than this.
That's probably...
They're all better to me than this until you get to something else.
I know.
Oh, man. But you know what? Can't go wrong. It's all, like we said before, horror you almost have to take out.
What do you mean?
And put...
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't compare. I mean, there's different shit in here. We rate for different reasons on how we personally rate it. But there's certain metrics that go into each type of movie.
Yeah, I would agree. Like,
not that we use those, but there are metrics that go into it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like when you watch Almost Famous, which I think is a better movie. It's not like it created a character like Penny Lane that's been in all these other movies. So it's kind of hard. And I'm going to rate this movie based on what it spawned sometimes more than what it really is. Right?
See, here's the thing. Freddy Krueger, greater than Penny Lane.
No, which one would you rather see naked?
Today?
Yeah, even today. Even today. Have you seen Kate Hudson?
Today?
Our Instagram follows her, by the way, because we follow people who are in movies that we watch.
Here's the thing. It's Robert Englund all day. Because guess what? A wrinkly old Robert Englund's naked body doesn't look...
Isn't he dead?
No, he's not dead, you asshole. He wouldn't look any different than a prosthetic burn-up Freddy Krueger body, probably. So I don't have to worry about being surprised by anything.
Got it. All right. Okay, so we would like to thank you for listening. We also want to remind you to join our Patreon so you can make some of the movie suggestions, get bonus content and other stuff. Remember, you can go to our website, sodapopcultureclub.com, for all things related to the show, including your chance to make those movie suggestions there as well. And our episode schedule is there. Now, we're also on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and we have a Twitch channel. Now, if you want to give a little... Now, we want to give you...
No. We're cutting out the teases. They're getting fucked up. We're having to redo... They're not working right now.
Because popcorn was free, and then it changed within the last week.
But we had this issue before. Just cut out the teases. I don't see any point anymore.
Okay.
But I would like to make a PSA.
What is it?
Kate Hudson, I just want you to know, it's not that I don't want to see you naked. Don't take that personally, my comment earlier. Just saying. If I can say, have you looked at Freddy Krueger naked?
Have you seen Kate Hudson?
Now, my co-host, Miss Hudson, really wants to see you naked bad, apparently.
You don't understand.
Wow.
How she is like F-I-N-E fine. I gotta find... Oh, if I could show you. This is I don't know if you can see that. That's her right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see? She still looks pretty good in a bathing suit. That's on her Instagram. So if you hear us, I'm showing them something you showed everyone, so don't get angry at me.
Not saying she doesn't. I'm just saying.
Freddy Krueger or Kate Hudson? Come on.
Yeah. I flipped a coin.
And lost, obviously. Okay. So it looks like he's not wanting us to do teases.
All right.
Whatever. I won't tease you.
It's not that I don't want to do teases.
Yeah.
But we have to keep cutting them because when stuff gets screwed up.
Yeah, because you're listening to this episode. We're telling you this at the end. You just listened to this one because popcorn was available to us and then it wasn't. And it would have to
It's
cost me a lot.
I have it on fucking VHS right now.
Oh, great. I don't have one of those fucking players.
It's the best way to watch it.
What? Grainy? Okay.
The 80s essence of horror. Of anything.
Right. It's the 80s essence of horror. Anything else you got to say then, bitch?
Yeah. No, not really. Just thanks for listening.
Okay.
say?